Good afternoon. Welcome to Midcap Radar live from the CNBC-TV18 Motilal Oswal studio. I'm Sonal Bhutra. With me, as always, is Vivek Iyer. Well, things have taken a turn for the better. Now we are up around 120 points, comfortably above the 24,850 mark. Across the board, we are seeing recovery. This one led by Bank Nifty, which was under pressure, but now it's up almost 250 points.
That's right. Good afternoon. So we are starting off the week on a strong note. Some green on the screen. It's been a choppy trading session, but especially in the last half hour, 1 hour of the session, we are seeing some buying, especially in the broader end of the market. We have a lot lined up on the show. So let's start off with the top headlines. Stocks perk up with key indices trading near the day's highest point. Midcaps rally, auto and metals are big gainers, while IT and consumer durables drag.
Shares of Prime Focus logged an upper circuit for the second session in a row. Notable investors Ramesh Damani, Utpal Sheth, Madhukela buy stake in Friday's block deal.
Asian Energy Services under pressure after it merges with Oilmax Energy by absorbing the company into itself. Asian Energy to issue new shares to Oilmax Energy shareholders as per the shareholding ratio. Stock down over 8%.
Sunteck Realty gains after company issues 1.17 crore warrants to promoters. Not only to promoters, 66.5% of that has gone to promoters. Stock up nearly 3%. Max Estate surges after it secures development rights for a 7.25-acre land parcel in Gurugram with gross development value potential of over 3,000 crore rupees.
Vikram Solar surges after it bags a 336 megawatt module supply order for Khavda Solar project from L&T. The stock surges over 8%. Well, welcome to Midcap Radar. What we're essentially seeing in the last hour of the session has been the fact that there has been some buying activity that's picked up as far as the broader end of the markets are concerned. The advanced decline ratio is something that has now gone and tended towards the positive side, given the fact that there was significant selling pressure that we did witness, especially in the last hour of the session. What is it that's doing quite well? Well, the entire gold finance bank is doing very well in the session today. Remember, gold prices are on an upswing, so names like Muthoot Finance, Manappuram, as well as IIFL, all of these names now trading near the day's highest point, all of them trading with gains anywhere in the range of 2 to 4%. What are the other set of stocks doing very well in the session? Well, you can't look beyond the auto pack. All of the auto names, remember TVS Motors, that particular stock saw an upgrade today. M&M, Maruti Hero Motor, announcement of a new CEO. That stock is doing very well in the session, near the day's highest point. And you're also seeing some buying emerging as far as the cement pack is concerned. So names like Shree Cement also doing quite well in the session. But remember, this is our special Midcap Radar, and this is our special segment, Midcap Movers. Sonal has gone by to the wall to take us through all of the midcaps that are moving around in the session.
Oh, well, yes, quite a few names that are buzzing in trade. Midcap index is at the day's high as well. So let's talk about some gainers first up, and then we'll talk about the losers as well in trade. So we have Sarasa Tech, which is higher by 18.5%. MIC Electronics, it's been buzzing off late, and 20% higher on that one. Precision Camshafts, a sudden move there has been surging since we started the trading session. 17% there. One MobiKwik. This is a curious case. The stock has been surging 13.5%. Another day, another move there. Sterlite Tech is up around 10% as we speak right now. Now to the losers, we have Paradeep Phosphates, which is lower in trade right now, 8.5% gone. Vimta Labs, it was a big mover in last week. Today, there's some profit booking we are seeing. Apollo Microsystems down 7.5%. We have Amberent, which is down 4%. EID Parry is the other one. And remember, we'll also be focusing on Asia Energy Services today on our Midcap Spotlight. That's an important one, which is down in trade around 10%. So watch out for that one, because that stock will be on our radar as well.
Well, thank you so much for that, Sonal. Asia Energy Services is something that we look forward to a little later in the show. Well, it's a good time to welcome Ruchit Jain from Motilal Oswal Financial Services for a quick technical check on the market. Thank you so much, Ruchit, for joining us. Well, it's been a choppy trading session, but now the Nifty continues to trade above the 24,850 mark. Where do you see markets headed from this point on?
Yeah, hi, very good afternoon. Well, in last few days, in fact, last couple of weeks, we have seen that the markets on the index front is going through some time-wise corrective phase. where 24,400 to 500 has been acting as a good support, and on the upside 25,000 is the resistance which is not taken out yet. But if you look at the broader markets, and the Nifty Midcap Index post this correction have formed a good support base around its 100-day exponential moving average, and have seen a good positive advance decline ratio since last few days. So clearly you can see that it's more of a stock pickers or a sector specific movements market, where although the benchmark indices are not showing any kind of trended phase, but there are certain sectors which are showing a good momentum on the positive side. So on the index front, we believe that markets would continue this small consolidation for the near term until 25,000 is broken out. We do not expect any significant momentum there. But yes, if you go down to stocks or the sectors, then I think much better opportunities are placed for short-term trading there.
Okay, all right. And what about individual names, Ruchit? Anything that comes to your mind?
Yeah, so a couple of names, Sonal, which we are looking to trade with a positive bias. One is we have recommended to go long on AB Capital. Now, if you look at last 2 or 3 weeks when the entire market has corrected, the AB Capital is one of the stock which has not shown any kind of time price-wise correction. So, it has been an outperformer even when the markets were correcting. So, we believe that the stock would continue its outperformance since the 20-day EMI has also been acting as a support, and we expect an up move to continue towards 310 kind of levels. So, at current levels, one can go long on AB Capital with stop loss below 270 for potential targets of 310. And we have seen a significant run up in auto names, post this GST reforms. And certain auto ancillary names are looking much positive, where we think that going ahead, the next round of rally could start. Apollo Tyres within this auto ancillary basket technically is looking very strong. We have already seen some price rise as well as corrective phase in this stock. And now price up moves have been supported by good volumes of late. So Apollo Tyres short-term traders can look to buy over here with stop below 470 for potential targets around 510.
Okay, thank you so much, Richard, for joining us, giving us a sense of your view on the markets as well as your individual trading calls. Well, it's a good time to slip into a short break. We'll get you more on the markets, and we'll also focus on Asia Energy Services, which is our mid-cap spotlight in today's trading session.
Your first reactions on this GST rationalization?
I see this as the most transformative step the nation has seen possibly in the last 50, 60 years.
What was the driving motivation, behind this bill?
Every item which comes under the GST, goods or services, had to be looked at. So even as I'm grouping for families, their day-to-day items, this thought of what the classification is causing as a problem also had to be addressed.
Welcome back. You're still tuned into Midcap Radar. Well, let's talk about an important and interesting story. Leveraged bets by Indian investors are near 1 lakh crore rupees, a 13 times jump in 5 years. Hormuz is here with more details and analysis as well. Hormuz.
There's some interesting insights dug up by our colleagues Yusuf and Ruchit, and they have mentioned the fact that the leveraged positions or leveraged bets of Indian investors is nearing the mark of 1 lakh crore rupees. Now, starting of the end of 2020, which was that number stood around 7,500 crore. As of Friday's closing, that number is close to 95,000 crore rupees, and that's a 13x jump. Now, even on the number of shares as well on which the leverage positions have been taken, that number too has seen a 10x jump from around 49 crore shares at the end of 2020 to almost 480 crore shares as of last Friday's closing. Now, what exactly is this MTF or the margin trading facility? Now, it is this facility that is provided by brokers to traders and investors to buy more shares beyond their capital capacity. Now, for example, if somebody is buying shares worth 1,000 rupees, they can furnish the earlier margin requirement of 200 rupees, and the broker can furnish the rest, which is around 800 rupees. That is where the leverage comes in. It becomes a highly profitable trade if the prices go up, but the risk comes in when the prices go down, and then the brokers are authorized to square off the positions in the absence of additional collateral if it is not provided to the broker at that particular point of time. And this forced selling could accentuate the selling pressure in a downward market. That is what puts in this such a trade at risk. Now, when it comes to the most leveraged stocks in this list, you will often find blue chip stocks or the most traded PSU names or ones where retail concentration is very high. So take a look at the blue chip names. Look at Reliance Industries, Tata Motors, TCS, PSU names like Mazda Dog, Bharat Electronics, REC, and with high retail holdings as well, like the likes of Yes Bank and Suzlon Energy, CDSL, all of them feature in this list. Now, whether this is a risk for the market, we did speak to Ashish Rathi of HDFC Securities, and he mentioned that this, the MTF does not pose a systemic risk to the market as of now, because over these last 5 years, the product has matured, and with the regulations being put in place, it does not pose a risk for the market as of now. And the fact that the MTF during the COVID period as well, it only led to an increase in cash market volumes and not pose a risk for the market. Well, even market regulator SEBI in its annual report mentioned that the comprehensive review of the current margin system is underway. What is also underway is the evaluation of the MTF norms and the eligible scripts that can be placed under this. So interesting insights coming in. The leveraged positions for now, not a risk for the market, but definitely a 13x jump over the last 5 years.
Okay, that's a big surge and interesting inputs by our colleagues Yusuf and Ruchit as well. But this is a special segment, Midcap Spotlight. We are focusing on Asia Energy Services. The stock is under pressure today, down around 8%. The news that came by over the weekend is that the company will be merging with Oilmax Energy Private Limited, and this is into Asia Energy Services Limited itself. Oilmax will be dissolved without winding up. All the assets, liabilities, rights and approvals will vest in Asia Energy. Now remember, it will also mean that Oilmax, the holding that they have in Asian Energy will be cancelled. Remember, Oilmax holds 66% stake in Asia Energy. So it's kind of a reverse merger which is happening with subsidiary, where holding company is getting merged with the subsidiary here. And Asian Energy will issue new shares to Oilmax as per share exchange ratio, which we'll discuss about in the later part. This will mean that it will be a consolidated business. Both the entities will be merged and the scheme will be effective in 12 months. What will happen to the promoter holding? Pre-merger, it is around 65%. Post-merger, it will come to 47%. Now, let's talk and look at the financials. Revenues together will come in to 593 crore rupees because 128 crores will be added by oil energy. EBITDA will double from current levels. It will come in at 143 crore rupees, and profits will also double to come in at 91 crore rupees. That plate where the consolidated financials will come by is here for you on the screen. So basically, their EBITDA and profits are doubling. There will be an issue of 117 shares for every 10 shares which is held in Oilmax. This would mean Asian Oil will be diluting their equity by around 46% in order to improve the merged entities financials, or doubling of EBITDA and profits as well. I did some calculations. Now profits are doubling from 42 crore rupees to 91 crore rupees, and calculating the shares which they have mentioned in their investor presentation as well, it would mean that EPS is improving from 8.4 rupees to 9.89 rupees a share. There is an improvement of 17% in the merged entity by way of EPS. But despite that, we are seeing that the stock is down in trade. But do remember, the stock is already up 140% in last 6 months. There has been a big surge that we are seeing. So there is some profit booking, sell on news, something of that sort is what is happening here. But yes, this merger is positive for shareholders of Asian Energy Services because there is an EPS improvement in the merged entity. But yes, some profit booking is what we are seeing right now.
Well, some very interesting analysis there, Sonal. And like you mentioned, don't go by the price movement just today. It's purely profit booking after what's essentially been almost a 2.5 times jump up in the share price. Thank you so much for sharing those details with us. Well, we'll now slip into a short break. We'll get you more on the markets and also focus on Prime Focus as well as Vikram Solar, both stocks which are buzzing in today's trading session. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Midcap Radar. Well, one particular stock from the broader end of the markets that's perched at the upper circuit for the second straight session is Prime Focus. Vamakshi joins in to decode all of the moves that's been happening as far as this particular name is concerned.
Well, absolutely, Vivek. The stock has managed to surge over 20%, 21% or so in the last two trading sessions. Now, keep in mind that this is a company that we don't speak about very often. So, just to provide some context to our viewers, this is an integrated media and entertainment services powerhouse. It provides post-production services, which includes digital, intermediate, visual effects and the likes of it. All of these creative services are provided by the company to the media and entertainment industry. Now in FY25, the company had a revenue of 3,600 odd crores with an EBITDA margin of 20.5%, and they managed to report a net loss of almost 377 crores. Now today the stock is in focus on the back of a block deal. About 4% equity or 1.2 crore shares changed hands in today's trading session. The sellers and the buyers are not immediately known, but we'll be waiting by later this evening for those details to come out. But keep in mind that this is the second block deal that has taken place in the last 7 days or so. On Friday as well, there was a block deal wherein almost 3.3% equity changed hands. Now, the sellers were largely some of these public shareholders, which includes Marina as well as Augusta Investments. But more importantly, it's we need to keep an eye out on who has actually bought. Now, Singularity large value funds, which are owned by Madhusudan Kela as well as his son Yash Kela, bought almost 2% stake in the company. Some other notable investors includes Ramesh Damani as well as Utpal Seth, which have picked up a 0.26% stake and 0.56% stake respectively, and there are some other investors involved as well. Now take a look at the shareholding pattern of the company. Now the promoters hold currently around 68%. There are no mutual funds currently, but there are some notable holders which have sold their stake, which includes Augusta Investments, which held a nearly 8.86% stake in the company back in June 2025. Of course, now with the stake reduction, the numbers will come down. For Marina as well, they hold a 7.5% stake, and on Augusta Investment Zero also hold a 2% stake in the company.
Well, thank you so much for that, Vamakshi, joining us and breaking down all of the buyers as well as sellers in Friday's block deal. It'll be interesting to track the prospects of Prime Focus going forward. But another stock from the broader end of the markets, one from the renewable energy space, a recently listed name, is Vikram Solar. Vikram Solar has seen a strong up move today on good volumes. This is after the company announced to the exchanges a significant order win. What is it that the company has announced to the exchanges today? The company has secured a 336 megawatt module supply order from L&T. Now, this is for L&T's renewable energy project at Khavda in Gujarat. This particular modules will be deployed in Gujarat itself, and the timelines for the delivery is from November 2025 to March 2026, indicating that the company should be able to book the revenues from this particular order in FY26 itself. Remember, the capacity as far as solar modules is concerned for the company during the IPO, remember the company just listed towards the end of August, was at close to 4.5 gigawatt. The order book at the end of Q1 was close to 10.3 gigawatt, indicating that the company currently has significant orders in hand. Now, what will be interesting is that I just used a back of the envelope rule of thumb calculation of close to $1.5 crore worth of order prospects from this particular order. So close to 450 to 500 crores worth is what this particular order should come about. It'll be interesting to see once the results do come about, what is the actual quantum of this particular order. But the street clearly likes this particular development.
Oh yes, 6.5% higher on this name. So that explains the move as well. But let's move on. In an exclusive conversation with CNBC-TV18, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman outlined the government's economic roadmap, highlighting GST rationalization as a key driver of consumption without compromising fiscal discipline. She also urged industries to pass on tax benefits to customers. Listen into some excerpts of her conversation with Network 18's Rahul Joshi.
You've put more money into the hands of the consumer. You brought down for the middle classes, the income tax cut, and now rationalization of GST. So will it now finally sort of move the needle on consumption?
100%. Because there's more money given already through the income tax cut.
Right.
The rates are coming down. So the citizen now has a choice to meet his aspirations and his expectations. He cannot say, look, I have the money because the income tax is reduced, but these items are beyond my affordability. Now everything has come down. Okay? I'll give you this number which is important. 99% of all the goods and services which are touched by GST are now either in 0 or in 5 or in 18.
That's right.
There's nothing beyond So that 1% is what makes for the demerit goods, which popular parlance says sin goods.
Yeah.
So that is the extent to which we have cleansed the system of anomalies, doubts, duplications, and any interpretative issues.
So this will also lead to higher investments. It will fire up investments as well.
Obviously, with consumption going up, there's a potential for capacities to grow, investments to grow.
Now the combined tax revenue impact of this, earlier your income tax cuts, and this is about 1.2 lakh crore. Do you think that there will be a certain revenue buoyancy as well in the coming years to make up for this? And
every economic theory that one studies says that.
yeah, have you seen that in the past?
Well, at least the moment the income tax reduction happened, you heard people very clearly coming out and saying, I mean, I've met up with a lot of individuals coming from different strata of the society saying, I'll have more money to send my son to this particular college. My daughter is already doing engineering. I'll be able to fund her for her higher studies and things like that. And from ordinary citizens who are leading their lives either working in a small store or driving a car, taxi, and so on. So it has an immediate psychological effect that I can do this, which was beyond my affordability. And therefore, I think there will be a buoyancy in terms of revenue.
Any impact on capital spending or fiscal deficit?
I wouldn't think. At this moment, I can say with confidence, capital expenditure of the government will not come down. It will be completed as is stated in the budgetary planning time, the budget estimate time, and so with the fiscal deficit. And this is the last point of my gliding path.
Right.
I will adhere to it.
Will petroleum products and alcohol continue to be outside the ambit of GST?
Yes, the current proposal doesn't include it.
Right.
The states will have
and
to.
And you don't see that happening in the near future?
Not in the immediate future.
All right, that's the word coming in from the finance minister. But for the markets, there is some fall from the highs of the day. From the we were above the 24,850 mark, so a small bit of selling from the highs as well. But if we talk about the broader market movers, IOL Chem, that should come up for you on the screen. That stock is up 15%. Himmat Singha Steel is the other one, up 8%. Steel strips, we've been talking about auto ancillaries doing really well. So that stock is up around 7%. And all these GST cut beneficiaries from the dairy space, so Parag Milk Foods is up around 7%. That stock should also be on your radar. So a lot of moving parts, but what we'll do is we'll take your leave on Midcap Radar right now. But Finding Alpha, special show, is up next.